This podcast is sponsored by Relevant. It's a new iOS app to consolidate the media you want to see in a place you control. With Relevant, you stay up to date with things you're actually interested in. You tell Relevant what's relevant to you, and you'll be given all the content you love from all across the internet, all in one place. It's available on iOS devices and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
Brace yourselves.
Hello.
Oh,
We're here. That was it.
What's up, guys? It's the Poorly Edited Podcast. We're here at the WXLV radio station, The X, on El Tri-C campus. I'm your host, Chandler Davis, and we're gathered here with our other fellow hosts.
My name is Coffee Guy.
My name is Patrick.
And we have Josh Brennan on the camera. Once again, back at it again. Thanks for being here, Josh. And we have our very interesting guest here today.
Victor or Redflushed?
Absolutely.
Redflushed. I like that name.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
And, I thought for sure when I went to look up your music and stuff, I was like, how is that going to get to the top of the search results?
Right.
But it is such a unique name, apparently. Like, there's nothing, no one else. I don't know. It's a really, really good one you got.
Josh actually Googled it right before he went live. He's like, oh, there's just medical symptoms here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure how you arrived at that, but like my cheeks are really red flushed because I have a fever.
Who would look that up?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm feeling really red flushed right now.
Is that where you got it from?
No.
Were you red
No,
flushed?
initially,
Jumping right into it.
it was just for like more like blushing, like like if you're shy or something. From usually like in anime or something, like characters will like blush and stuff. But then I was like, oh, it's also a medical term, so I was like, okay,
Oh,
But
nice.
so yeah,
So we were like, Josh was on to something there.
yeah, for sure.
He was on the
Josh.
same path. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So anime is like really, you're like really into it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'd love to like eventually like sound design for anime. That's like my
Ooh.
top dream for sure.
I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense. No, that all
That is
makes
cool.
sense. Yeah.
So we had a guest on before that shamed me for liking Naruto.
Oh,
Will you do
what?
the same?
Oh no, I love Naruto, honestly. Like people view it as like normie or like it's like very popular, but it's like I that's the first anime I watched too. So
Yeah.
no shame, dude.
I didn't get Nickelback shame this time.
Nickelback shamed. Yeah, two sides of the coin now.
Of
We
the
have
nickel.
the Naruto haters and the Naruto fans. I personally I watched a lot of Naruto when I was younger, like because it was always on really late.
Yeah.
But I never got into it. I liked Inuyasha, which I feel like
I love
is
Inuyasha too. Yeah.
very similar to Naruto plot wise in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
and like how like, some of the characters are.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Naruto and Bleach for me, that's like what really got me into it.
Oh yeah.
And then like Inuyasha, Death Note, like all those cool
Mhm.
stuff on Adult Swim. It's very cool.
I don't know how I'm gonna stop myself from talking about anime like until later. We're gonna try to.
You could talk about it right now if you want.
You think?
I-
Well, you have. We have some stuff. We had a pretty packed weekend, I would say. I guess there's some things that went on. Our boy Ryan Flynn of Tabertine had his concert in Nazareth Friday night.
Yep.
I didn't get to go
At a bakery.
at a bakery. What was
Whoa,
that like?
really?
It was pretty sweet. And my friend Mason, me and Mason went.
Yeah.
Neither of you did.
Mason from Previous
Episode 6.
Yeah.
the Halloween episode.
Halloween episode.
Yeah.
He went. We had a good time. Tower team was really good.
Uh-huh.
The venue was really weird. It was like
Well, it's because it was a bakery,
it was
probably.
it was a bakery, but then they like halfway down on the right wall for like a third of the wall, there's just a stage jutting out, and it's like a foot off the ground. There's just a bunch of like sound equipment and stuff on there. So that was kind of cool. And there's like this huge yin yang painted behind it,
Oh, that's
Ooh.
lit.
and there's just like music stuff up all over the walls. There's like the insides of a piano
Big mood.
on the wall.
Big mood.
Big mood. It's pretty sweet. Me and Mason got a meat pie. We shared it.
What?
It's It's like a pretty big hot pocket, pretty much.
Okay.
It was just filled with meat and potatoes.
That's weird, dude.
It was.
That's a weird concert
also-
food, man.
We like went up to order it and we're like, yeah, I guess we'll split one of these. And they're like, all right, we'll get it to your table. And we're like, okay. And we walked over to our friends and we're like, do we have to pay? Like we did.
Did you?
No one asked us for money.
What?
At any point?
No.
You
Oh.
stole from the
No, we
bakery?
did, I don't.
It was on the house.
I was like, I figured we'd like pay when they brought it to our table, and then we like looked back and it was just there.
See, knowing you still have a really hard time dealing with
Oh, yeah,
that, don't you?
I'm
yeah.
still guilty.
Yeah, I figured.
I want to go back there and pay that like $6 meat pie.
Well, you paid admission, didn't you?
And that was a donation. I just
What?
went right to the band. Actually, me and Mason also we went in and we're like, we're supposed to pay someone to get in here. And then Caddy was like, no, it's a donation. And I'm like, oh. And then
No.
No?
Don't trust anything Caddy says like that.
Well, the table also said accepting donations.
Oh,
so
okay.
it seemed
As long
legit.
as don't listen to just Caddy. You have to
Okay.
get other opinions on it. Because that's something Caddy would do. She'd be like, no. just if you want to, you can pay. Like,
I mean, we went and paid it then because it was going to Tavertine.
yeah,
You
definitely.
know, got to represent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was them and some, it was another girl who was really good too, but I forget her name.
Yeah, I saw that they
was
were
like-
playing with another act, but I don't remember.
I don't know. She was really good. I forget her name. It was just like her first name. It was like, it was Brenna. That was it.
Oh,
Brenna.
yeah, that is it.
Yeah. and
How
that
was she?
Tavertine. She was really good too. She had a bunch of like original music, which surprised me. I figured it'd be like we're in a bakery, so I figured it wouldn't be like a lot of original stuff. But no, Tavertine played all original song. They also played Toxic, like by Britney
That's
Spears. It was
awesome.
really cool. And then and the other girl had like one cover.
Yeah, I'm really not into the whole like let's go to a gig and like listen to a bunch of covers for an hour.
Same.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
I
like,
agree. Yeah.
Let's get some original stuff. And it's just like even to attempt like playing original stuff is like mad respect, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. For sure. I agree.
But yeah, and then you guys I couldn't make it, unfortunately. Like I had been planning on it since literally 2 months ago when I heard about it, but then something came up, I couldn't go right then. And Coffee Guy just
I just
Totally.
assumed nobody else was going, so I'm like, all right, whatever.
I was actually recruiting people that weren't invited to go,
like who?
like Mason, and then
Oh yeah,
my friend Tejas was gonna come, but he couldn't make it either.
Mason's a funny guy. We should have him back on again.
Mason is a funny guy.
Mason's very charismatic.
Very, very charismatic.
But yeah, and then you guys came to like the after party
Yeah.
for the gig. There were a lot of people that showed up. Like everybody, like Caddy and stuff came
Yep,
there. And stuff
Caddy and
after.
Alex.
I was shocked that you showed up to that.
Me too.
Yeah, but it
I
was
was
only because Mason was your ride and he wanted
Yeah,
to
no,
go.
that was it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I got invited. I'm like, I might be there. It's wholly dependent on Mason, and then Mason wanted to go, so we
Yeah.
went. I don't go to a lot of parties. I
Yeah.
surprise you.
No,
No?
I believe it. I definitely believe it.
Was Pat just sort of like standing around?
That's
Just
exactly
That's
doing Pat
exactly
things?
what he was
Okay.
doing.
standing
Yeah.
around talking about Pet Cemetery.
Looked kind of lost. He followed me around.
Followed Mason around.
Yeah, followed me. Yeah. So, but no, you guys. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah,
You guys
I had
seem like
fun.
you had a good time talking about Pet Cemetery
Yep, in
to the other
basement.
party goers. What's
Like-
your thoughts on Pet Cemetery?
What is Pet Cemetery? Sorry.
It's a novel by Stephen King where there's a cemetery where if you bury
Oh.
animals, they come back to life.
Oh, I actually like Stephen King, so I'm like shamed.
Ooh.
But
That's a good one.
that sounds good though. I mean, so it's a legend or a book?
Huh?
Both.
Both. Okay.
It's actually happened.
It's
Oh, okay.
it's weird. It's like it. I mean, it's obviously it's just a novel, but then it's like drawing on folklore, which is
Okay.
kind of cool.
It sounds like I would believe it, to be honest. I've had enough paranormal experiences to say I would believe
Oh,
it.
really?
Really?
Yeah.
What kind?
I was actually just talking about it with my cousin a couple days ago, but we were on our way home from the gym one day, and I live near this like baseball field, and there's like a huge parking lot. But like literally, there was like a group of like 12 people, just like they didn't even have faces on. That's what makes it weird. But just like with like no lights on, just like huddled in a circle. It was like a cult kind of thing. But what made it even weirder is that there's like a spotlight, but it's like they forcibly like cut it off, and it was a very odd experience. And I also
What?
live next to a graveyard, so
That's super trippy.
yeah, I've
That was
seen stuff there. Yeah,
I feel like that might have been a video shoot.
something
One
or
or
like
the
a
other.
music video.
Either,
Hope
either
so.
haunted or music video.
Yeah,
Those are two very different scenarios.
I don't know.
I would
I don't
not
know,
do
man.
well in that setting at all. Like I'm very
Music
easily
video.
yeah. No, even just like living by a cemetery, I don't think I would have
It
fared
gets
very
weird.
well.
It gets weird, but I kind of got over it because I don't know. It only happens like when I'm like directly in it or like outside of it. Like, but I can't even see it from my house, so it doesn't really phase me that much.
That's
Okay.
lucky.
A friend of mine lives right next to a cemetery. Like he shares the tree line and he just sits out on his porch, grills, and looks at the graves.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
What?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, pretty much. He always makes this dumb joke. There's a family. He always says, "My neighbors are the worst," and then you look over at the gravestone and it's the worsts.
Oh wow.
That's
Is it actually?
not.
Yeah. Like the gravestone says worsts.
That's actually. I think it's funny.
That's the greatest joke.
That
of
is.
all
That
time.
might be
I mean,
the
that wrote
greatest joke of all
itself.
time.
That might be. Can we get a vote on that?
Show of hands, please.
For all the audio listeners. So, what? Are you okay?
What?
Okay. You just looked like.
For reference, I did nothing, and Chandler's like, "Are you okay?"
No, I just thought you were about to say we're going to a break.
Oh no,
And I
we
was
got
like
time.
scared. Okay. But yeah, and then I ended up getting snowed in this weekend because we had that huge storm,
Mhm.
and I was still at the house of the location where the after party was, and I just got snowed in there for like another day. So I didn't, because they closed the mountain that I have to drive over. I tried driving home, and that was the sketchiest driving I've ever done, for sure. Like that was the closest I've ever come to like just getting in several car accidents, because the entire road was covered in snow.
Mhm.
I have 2-wheel drive, and I also only have 2 snow tires on, only my front 2 snow tires.
Mhm.
And so I was just sliding all over the road and like couldn't come to a complete stop quickly. Like it was just not good. And people were crawling. You couldn't see more than like 30 yards in front of you.
It was bad.
And I was just like, I'm going to turn around. I'm just going to go back.
For some reason, every time you talk about going over that mountain to get home, I imagine there's a point where the road just cuts off. You have to like 4-wheel it over. Just get off road. I gotta get home, man.
That's every time. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. They stop making the road after a while, and you just have
They
to
can't make it over
wing
the
it.
mountain.
Yeah, then they don't deserve to get home.
Yeah.
Honestly, you have to go your own way. You
Yeah.
know.
Gotta be a trailblazer.
Yeah. I drive a Trailblazer.
Do you actually?
No, I'm just kidding. I like how you asked me that,
Is
even
that
though
what
you
your
know
car
what my
looks like?
car looks like. Pat knew where my car was and whose car it was at the party because it was parked so poorly on like the corner of the street.
It's also super far away.
Yeah, and it was just so
Like, we
far
got there
away.
after Chandler, and we found a place way closer. I'm like, is that Chandler's car all the way over there?
I parked like all the way down the street from the house. It's because I was afraid to try to like park.
Parallel park?
No, I'm not afraid of parallel parking. Just like in that particular setting, in that like community, I just didn't want to park near anyone's car. I was like, I'm not doing it. So then I had to walk. But yeah.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I just chilled. I went to the movies. I saw Peter Rabbit. It's like a based off of this movie.
Nice.
It's pretty good. They had some of the songs from Vampire Weekend. They're a band
Oh,
that I
really?
really like.
In Peter
Peter
Rabbit?
Rabbit?
Yeah, and
What
Peter
songs?
Rabbit. They had so The Kids Don't Stand a Chance. I think that
That's
was one
a
of
good
them.
one.
And
That's
they had like A-Punk and like all their other stuff from their first album.
That's pretty sweet.
But nothing original, which was sad. I was expecting like something like made
yeah.
for Peter Rabbit.
Bro, if
Have you-
Vampire
have you
Weekend would have
also
dropped
listened
a
to
new
Vampire Weekend?
single.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting
for
so long. I
Peter
love them.
Rabbit.
Do you also listen to Vampire Weekend, Chandler?
Yeah.
That's weird.
They're good.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like this keeps happening. We keep like digging up old bands that we listen to, and we're like, yeah, I listen to that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like you guys because you guys listen to like really obscure music that I've
Thank you.
never met anyone else that listens to them. Like, and
I
we were
feel- I
talking about
feel- I
it too.
feel
yeah,
Wombat.
yeah. Like the wombat. Yeah,
They're
you're
big
wearing
in
a
Britain.
wombat's jacket.
It's like the only
Actually.
jacket I own.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not true. I've like, I mean, I just don't own a winter jacket, so I keep layering. Bro, I'll wear like 3 sweatshirts.
It's pretty hard to not own a winter jacket living where we do. So
I'll find a way.
No, I've worn this cardigan all like winter.
Really?
So I've like
How warm
I have
is
like
that
another
cardigan?
one sweater. It's pretty warm, honest. I don't even button it. It's just
Man, I've been
just there.
deceived.
I appreciate the dedication to the fashion.
Thank you.
of like being cold, but you're like, I look so good
Yeah.
though. This
I mean,
cardigan is
it's
so good.
it kind of works, but like when it really is cold, it's like it's just pain at the point. It's just pain.
You gotta suffer
use
for your
pain.
art.
But you got to be careful.
Gotta be careful.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe for
warm.
your fashion.
It's not easy to do in the winter, man.
Yeah, it
not.
really isn't.
not.
It really isn't.
It's mostly
Like a hoodie doesn't get you by most times. It's like you need a parka or something. But
Yeah.
Oh, let me
You
show
know-
you the way.
Please no one make the joke that
What?
is very easy to make with the know the way thing. Yeah, just don't do it.
No,
We're just gonna go right past it. All
I'm
right.
over it.
All right. That's like the shorts guys though. You know the shorts guys who are like
Oh,
still
yeah.
wearing shorts?
yes,
And you're just
yes,
like,
I had a kid in my high
We
school.
have
that did
one
that.
in one of our classes, the three of us.
Yeah,
who wear
yeah.
shorts still.
I can't believe
It's
that.
crazy.
I could not do that.
It's so weird too, because in the summer it's like, well, they just don't really care, you know. They're
Yeah.
having like a relaxed day with
Yeah.
their outfit, and then it like carries over into the winter. It's like, what are they thinking?
You're like, what do you do? Stop.
What's the motivation?
Right.
Do they know? You're like,
Are they aware?
yeah, I think it's an evolutionary adaptation at this point.
Yeah.
Like the shorts guys.
Their calves are just super warm.
I saw like this one Facebook post where it was like a news article and it was like record low temperatures threaten the populations of shorts all year, guys. Because they won't stop
No,
for anything.
nothing will stop them.
It doesn't get better.
It's
Below
even
zero.
weird. That's the part of the leg that's most likely to get in snow. They just don't
yeah,
care.
that too. That's a dangerous life to live.
Oh, do you
It
think it's
is.
the
It's
socks?
very dangerous.
Maybe we've been too focused on
Nike
the shorts.
Elites.
No, the socks. Maybe the height of the sock determines how hot it is or
Does
cold
he-
it is outside.
Does he know that Nike Elites are socks?
I don't think so.
Who names socks?
What?
Nike Elites?
Yeah.
I assume that was a shoe.
That's what they always are almost always wearing.
Nike Elites.
It's
Yeah.
just like yeah. And they're on their way to shoot basketball
Oh, yeah.
at the rec
Sure.
center.
That's how it goes.
Have you guys ever shot basketball at a rec center?
That's such
I've done it at the YMCA and stuff on like gyms, but
That counts.
yeah.
What
So
about you, Chandler?
It's-
I would never dare. I only shoot at my hoop at my house where no one will see.
It's my territory. I
Yeah.
peed on it. It's mine.
Every time before you shoot, you look around. make
Yeah,
hands around.
I do. If a car's passing, I won't take the shot
And then you
just
shoot-
so no
and
one
then
can
you shoot
know.
real quick and you miss. It's like,
If no one's around to see how bad I am, then technically I'm not bad at basketball.
then yeah.
True.
So that's how that
you're
works.
good though. I know
Yeah,
you're
you're
good. You have it. You have hops.
Really?
I
You know
believe in
this?
you.
Oh, okay.
Chandler, what's your vertical?
Oh, I have a decent vert.
Really?
Yeah, that's it though. It doesn't translate into being useful. I just can jump
Yeah,
high-ish.
but I got a decent vert. What?
Well, yeah, but you're already tall, so it's
No,
cheating.
I don't have vert.
Really?
No.
I just assumed.
Do you remember watching him try to skip? If he can't skip, he probably can't
Oh.
jump.
Pat trying to? Can you do that? Can we work you skipping into a video sometime?
Sure.
Dude, it's hilarious. It's so bad. Like, I'm sorry. That is.
I haven't skipped in years. I used to be a
Skipping needs to come
world-class
back.
skipper.
It's
It's,
a very-
Skipping needs to come
It's a
back.
very important activity.
it's also faster than walking.
It is.
It is.
It's like-
yeah. I
and
skip
And it's
at
not like
work
running like where you
sometimes.
get worn out. You
Yeah,
know,
it's a nice
You're s-
medium.
Yeah, that's
It's just
perfect, yeah.
efficient.
Because
It's like
you're
this-
spending a lot of time in air, so
Sure.
you're not
And it's
utilizing.
like you either do that or speed walk, and
Mm.
skipping's way cooler than speed walking.
Yeah,
well,
depends.
Depends.
How fast though? Like what speed?
There is a
it
threshold
like-
where speed walking becomes really lame.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's like that episode, that episode of Malcolm in the
That's
Middle.
what I
I
was
don't know if you
thinking of.
watched it. Like, I love that. He just loves like he watches them do it every day.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be like them. That's always what I imagine.
And like the controversy at the end was like, he's got 2 feet off the ground. That's not allowed. That's a hop.
that is a hop.
All right.
Speaking of Malcolm in the Middle, I've been watching a lot of Breaking Bad.
Oh, I dude,
And-
that
I don't
show's
get the
intense.
reference.
The entire because
That
I
show's
was
intense. I couldn't rewatch it to be honest. It's-
really.
It's that crazy. Like season 4 especially.
I'm
Yeah.
just getting there.
Yeah.
I'm about to be in season 4.
Wait, you're rewatching
gets
it, right?
No.
Oh,
no,
it's not.
never
Then I don't want
watched
to spoil it. Then I'm sorry. I probably just like
No, that's
No,
fine.
but it gets crazy.
Like,
gets crazy.
because it's been on my list for so long, and I never had the time, and then I got deadly ill, and I couldn't do anything else, and I was like, now's the time. Last time I was that sick, I binged Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yes, yeah.
And that was how I came
Good
into
stuff.
getting back into anime and stuff. So I like getting that sick sometimes for that reason. Gives me an excuse.
All right, before we get back in anime, we're gonna go on break. I gotta chop it up.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right
You
back.
gotta chop it up. Chop that beat.
And we're back.
Wow, that was,
Right.
whoa, okay. That was a pretty short break. Thanks for the
Same
heads up, man.
distance. Minute and a half.
Yeah.
Well, they've never changed and like
Never
never
And every time they're faster and faster for you.
just keep
She was like,
quickening
wow,
the
what do you do with
pace.
those breaks.
you chopped them up, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That
Well,
one was actually 91 seconds.
oh, really?
Yeah.
So it was longer than usual.
Longer than usual.
I don't understand. All right. Well, so yeah. What?
I'm making sure you're flipped to the right page. That's all.
There's 2 pages.
Who's hardcore? Yeah. Which page of the two? You're just hardcore judging me.
No,
Yeah.
but no, just go.
No,
Just
you
go.
No, no, it's
Every-
all you now.
I've been going to the gym lately, and every time my friend's like, "Yo, I'm not judging you," I'm like, I've never felt more judged than right now. So I can only bench like the bar, and he's like, "Yeah, just bench the bar," and I'm
You
like,
can only bench the bar.
"Yeah,
I'm so
I'm a weakling."
Well, look at his arms. Look at my arms. Do you think I can bench more than the bar?
I can.
I
barely
guess it
lift them
depends
up.
on the. Well, some bars weigh more.
Yeah, I think it's usually like 45 pounds.
Yeah.
And this isn't important.
You're just gonna get away from that as fast as possible. No,
I'm
sure.
I'm a weakling. I accept it.
You just started going to the gym, didn't you?
Yeah.
I
Are we still going tomorrow?
I forgot I told you about what time.
I don't know.
Are we all going tomorrow?
You trying to go
Are we
tomorrow?
doing? Are we having a
You trying to go
podcast
tomorrow?
workout
So-
session after party?
After work.
Josh, you can film it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I don't have any. I have to take some pictures tomorrow, but after that,
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
fine.
My entire day is open.
Okay, well, I'll text you.
All
All right. Anyway,
Good.
yeah. Well, did that just happen? Did we just become best gym friends? Yeah. I haven't been disciplined with going to the gym. Like I want to. I love working out. Like it feels really good, but you have to set aside the time. You have to go. Like I have a bench at my home, but I feel like I should go to a public gym so I'm more inclined to like push myself because people will make. I'll feel like people are judging me
Yeah.
that are around, so I'll like go harder. You know. Because at my house, it's just like, you just be like, oh, I'm done.
So your
Yeah.
cat watching you, and you're like, "What do you know?
Yeah.
You try this."
You do it. How much did you bench, dude? But yeah. So anyway, gym talk aside, you're coming though, right?
I'll try.
No, that's a
what time?
definite.
What time? What time?
That's a definite.
It doesn't.
And it's at the here.
Yeah,
On-
we're
okay,
going right
all
now.
right,
Actually, the show's over.
Yeah,
All
see
right,
ya.
let's
All right,
get
see
it.
you guys.
Catch you
Everyone
next
meet at the gym. Everyone listening. So yeah.
We'll let you spot me.
So personally, I'm really into the music you make on
Thank
SoundCloud and on Bandcamp and stuff. I'm really into like that sound. I really gravitate towards artists that have like that really like chill vibe
for sure.
and that nuance going on. And so like, I mean, I would imagine that you've come a long way like musically, and it's been a large part of
Oh,
you
yeah.
know your life and stuff arriving at that point. So I mean, what really brought you into getting into music and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like my musical story is kind of weird because like when I was a kid, I played piano when I started piano when I was like 5 or so. I was like, oh, this is whack. so I was like, I want to play the electric guitar because I liked Green Day at the time, like any other 7-year-old. I was into like pop punk and whatnot.
Absolutely.
So I got an electric guitar. And I learned how to play power chords, and then like my teacher started teaching me like major sevenths and whatnot. I was like, this is too hard. So then I dropped it, and then in middle school I joined marching band, and I really like resonated with the glockenspiel, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. Like I like mallets, and I had a friend that his sister went to the art school in Bethlehem, the charter high school for the performing arts. And he was like, you should audition because I know you like the glockenspiel. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And then I auditioned, and I wasn't really expecting to get in, but hey, I got in. And then there I started listening, to more music, to more experimental and alternative music and whatnot. And then I started playing the drums there too. And then my senior year or so, I started getting into like programming drums on like FL Studio. And then I got into like beat making towards the end of my senior year, and then I started just like releasing beat tapes. But it was a very rough process in the beginning. Like I have like over 100 abandoned songs that I just never finished. So I have more bad than good, I guess. But I only release the stuff that I like really feel confident about. So yeah.
That actually makes me feel better because I mean I use FL Studio as well. I've been like trying. I wouldn't even say I've been making like anything. I'm just saying like it's trying almost vainly most of the time.
No, but at least you're doing it, because I know some people that like are like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but then like, you know, they never make anything. But just you'll get better naturally, you know, even if you just do it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you saying that like you've made more bad than good and you have like hundreds of songs that you didn't like, you know, it's like that makes me feel better because I feel like every song I make I hate.
No, I still feel like that, dude. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, but you know,
I think if you don't hate what you're doing by the end of it, like there's something wrong because you got to be your worst critic, you know.
No, yeah, I think it for me it just comes down to like loving your mistakes, and that's like, yeah, I could have done it better, but you know what, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like nothing's perfect, so you know.
For sure. But yeah, like I don't know. It is hard. It is hard to like keep going and like you don't think it's going well, but you're just like, I gotta keep making more. Like, I gotta keep trying and practicing. And that's how
it probably took me like 2 or 3 years playing the guitar before I ever wrote something that I actually sort of liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I feel like it's just frustrating because most of the time it's like, oh, I'm not getting the sound that I want, so it's like this is so, you know, this is so
that can be a really big block
for sure. But then it's like almost like that only happened when I was like, oh, like I want to sound like Shlomo, or like I have like a specific like Flying Lotus or like Skrillex or something, or like a specific artist, and it's like then you get frustrated, but then it's like, oh, I have my own sound in the process, so I'm no longer, you know, holding myself to that standard.
Right.
So yeah, it helps.
Well, yeah, you just mentioned like a few names that I really enjoy. Flying Lotus, definitely one of them, and his Captain Murphy stuff.
Yeah,
that Flying Lotus did, I really enjoy. But I think people are probably more familiar with like, I think people are more familiar with Captain Murphy from him than they are Flying Lotus, because Captain Murphy was in GTA 5 on that soundtrack.
Right. And he had like the Flylo station.
Yeah, on the Flylo station.
Yeah, the best stuff.
That's where a lot of people first probably heard of him.
Yeah.
But he's a really great producer.
I love Flying. Yeah, he's like one of my like first producers. Like I was like, it's cool to, you know, be able to combine like hip hop and electronic music and like still have a lot of like melodic and like ambient like elements in it, like jazz too.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's like so much mixed into one.
He has a lot going on. He's a huge repertoire under his belt.
For sure.
And Skrillex was like what got me into EDM. I know a lot of people are really at this point really like, you know, weird about Skrillex, and they don't want to admit like that they ever really liked Skrillex because he got so, I don't even know what the word is, like mainstream. It became like a meme almost because of the dubstep like stigma that took place. But like when he first came out, like he rocked it.
I loved him.
He was
like and
rocking.
I still really listen. Like I can listen to his music and still like it. You know.
Yeah.
And
like I liked Recess.
Yeah. No. And even though I don't like necessarily make dubstep, it's just like I enjoy it from like an artist perspective.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's good. Yeah.
Absolutely. So. And like, I know we were talking, like I DM'd you on SoundCloud and I was like, I hear like a lot of like Sun Glitters in your music, like Sun Glitters influence. And you're like, oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. I feel like that aspect of like, especially his performances, like he doesn't necessarily DJ. You know, he has like an Akai APK or something.
Yeah.
And it's more of like a performance rather than like a DJ set. And I really like that aspect. Like I did a couple shows over the summer and I would do the same thing, like just put samples on like a MIDI controller or something and have my own songs playing rather than just like a mix of like other people's music. And I really respect that somebody does that, you know, and like still tweaks with it live. And it's, it's really cool.
That's one of the interesting things about like performing that kind of music, because it's always like this weird question of how do you go about making a performance out of something like that? How do you make that an interesting set, you know? And what are you gonna do? And it's so like there is no right answer. Like there's a lot of different artists that do a lot of different things, and it's just kind of like whatever, you know, you're into, I guess.
Right. No, and I mean like it's cool. People like also like combine vocals, like Joji.
Yeah.
You know, like he'll have like a mic, and you know, so you can like, I've also seen like Bath's another guy I really like. He has like a guitar while he plays, and like, you know, he uses vocals, and like it's pretty extreme. Like, you know, to have all that going on.
I'm really into Joji. I've been listening to his, he just came out with his deluxe edition for In Tongues, which doesn't have anything like new on it. It's all like stuff that he added like 2 tracks that were like singles before. And then he added a bunch of remixes, which I like that he does that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
He's really into like giving, because when Medicine came out with that remix of Will He,
that was
I was
crazy.
like, yo, that rocks. So for him to like shout them out and put them on something, like, yeah, I just think that's cool of him that he rolls like that.
Yeah, no, and he has like so many B-sides too that he released before In Tongues, and like You Suck Charlie and like Plastic Taste and like what was the other, Unsaved Info? That's like my favorite one probably.
Yeah, I like Unsaved. He also released with the deluxe edition. He added Don't Rain on Me and
that one's crazy. Yeah, that's one I finished too.
And Plastic Taste to it, which were 2 really good tracks. I don't know. I fanboy out so hard about Joji, honestly. Like,
yeah, he's amazing.
It's embarrassing.
Like, I couldn't believe he was Filthy Frank. Like, genuinely, I was like, oh crap, this is Filthy Frank, and I was like, his persona is so different from like, you know, Filthy Frank.
Yeah, honestly, it is really like, I think it's really interesting for someone to be that like versatile.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. Yeah,
like he's a hilarious comedian, but he can make like the most soulful,
right,
kind of R&B, lo-fi, hip hop type stuff, and I don't know, it's just crazy. But now he's doing that full time.
Yeah.
So
Rip Filthy Frank.
Rip Filthy Frank. I actually just made a video that I released on. I released the day that he released his EP, talking about like I just did like it's kind of like a video essay style, like talking about how I think he really changed or like set a trend for like comedy on the internet and just for like people our age almost. Like I would say he influenced a ton. At least like at my high school, I know, you know, like a lot of our humor was derived from like his just like the fact that this guy came out and he's just like, there is no line and everything's funny and just like be weird and it's cool. Like, you know, it's like, who cares? It was just so refreshing, you know? And I don't know. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. Like, I feel like people look at him as kind of just like a goofball or whatever. And it's like, okay. But he like really, I think he's a really talented dude, you know, multifaceted for sure. And there's a lot you can like extrapolate from him and his acts and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's cool how like also it's like almost bad taste, but it doesn't quite get there. It's not like, you know, like Jake Paul, like everyone's like, oh, he's such a bad person because when he went to the Japanese forest. But you know, with Filthy Frank, I feel like he didn't necessarily cross the line, but he like almost did
every time. Yeah, he's like almost there every time.
But he definitely does have haters and like people are like,
absolutely.
oh, I'm not gonna watch it because it's like it offends me. But I feel like that's ultimately what he wants. So it's like, you know, it's whatever.
I think Patrick's actually one of those people who like refuse. You like refuse to watch him. You're not like a fan at all.
No,
not that there's anything wrong with that, but
I just haven't really given it a try, honestly.
Yeah. Well, now it's too late.
Yeah.
Next time.
All his videos are gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. All on both of his channels. Yeah. No, but like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like because like we went to a place that was just like talking about bands that I'm sure no one's ever heard of. Like for the most part,
I've heard of Skrillex before.
Yeah.
Never listened to him, but heard him.
Yeah, it's the sort of genre that I've only recently discovered, but I'm really into it. It's so different and neat. It's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man. There's so much. Like there's no other way to explain it. Like
it's so versatile.
Yeah.
There's so much you can
it's scary.
tackle onto it.
No, and there's like no really good way to describe it. You know, like even like Joji, because it's not just lo-fi hip hop. You know, like he sings like there's R&B. You know, there's more like ambient kind of stuff in there too, and like indie, and like it's just like
it's really hard to describe. A lot of what's coming to the surface. From that scene and from like the indie scene, you're just kind of like, no idea how to categorize this, but I love that about it, you know, because you only get it if you listen to it.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's my thing. Like, I think if there's any takeaway, it's just like, please just like go on an adventure. Like whether it's on SoundCloud or Spotify, like, or anything, just like go and just see where it takes you. Just like listen to the weirdest stuff. And like, you might like some of it, you might not like some of it, but just like, see what's out there, because there's so many amazing artists doing so many amazing things that you would never think you would enjoy, you know. But I don't know. Like I spend so much time on Spotify just going into my discovery queues and letting the stuff like autoplay, and I don't know. It's really fun. And I think for anyone that wants to like find new music, it's the most amazing time for that. Like there could not be a better time.
No, it's like a rabbit hole to an extent. Like on YouTube especially, it's like, you go to like a recommended song. It's like, oh, this is so cool. What is this? And then you look up like that band and like similar bands. And then you're just like in a complete like J-pop like like in a very like weird place. But then it's like, oh, I love it. And then it's like so yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's magic, honestly.
As a creator, how have you liked SoundCloud as a platform? Because I've noticed you're doing kind of well on there.
Thank you.
How many followers do you have on
I
SoundCloud?
think like 480. Like I'm almost at 500 almost.
And most of your songs are at least 1,000 listens.
Yeah.
All of them,
Yeah.
Right now you're at 484 followers.
Yeah, almost there. Like, fingers crossed. I think it's pretty good. I think it's not gonna last too long. I feel because like they're also having like a bunch of like legal disputes and whatnot. But I feel like also, I think YouTube is almost like the ideal platform because it's like monetized too. So you're making some revenue, but for the most part on SoundCloud, other than like the followers, there's not much that I get other than that, like, publicity. So I feel like I've been using like Bandcamp more, also Spotify, just to get some more like money out of it. But from, like the exposure side, I feel like I couldn't have met the people that I've met without SoundCloud. And, I feel like the scenes that are on there are like irreplaceable, so, and there's been like so many genres like vaporwave, like, or like witch house that like they can't exist anywhere else. So
yeah,
that's what makes it so special, like SoundCloud is just one of a kind for sure.
Yeah, I love it. And there's so much, because I think that's a good point of like, there isn't any real guidelines or like rules as to what's on there. So it's just kind of like people are doing all kinds of stuff, and it's just a melting pot of, and everyone's just it's such a nice community for the most part.
Yeah. Like I haven't met anyone toxic on there that like I haven't really had like any haters yet, like knock on wood, but it's like for the most part, I feel like it's just like, it's the fact that like it's accessible, like anyone can post whatever they want, there's no money involved to do it, so anyone has access to it. I think that's awesome.
I feel like anyone who's at that point where they're like on SoundCloud listening to like the crazy stuff that's on there, you're probably an appreciator of music to the point where you're not going to be going and like hating randomly on people doing their thing. We're all there for the same reason. It's because you love music.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to a break quick.
All right, we'll be right back.
Be right back. Wait. Will we be right back? Okay.
Will we be right back?
We will be right back.
Be right
Maybe.
back. And we're back.
All right, Pat shortened that one up as well.
No, that
Another quick one.
That ad had like 12 seconds of dead air.
Oh,
Do we have to go back and play it?
Huh?
Do we have to go back and play it?
Play with the
The
dead,
dead air, yeah.
Oh, what?
I'm just making sure you're okay.
Pat, what happened?
anymore.
You were improving exponentially
Oh,
at
so
your.
much better before the break.
We tried to work on this
so much
last
better.
week, actually, a little bit.
What?
So we actually started taking Pat to coaching classes.
Yeah, show him what you can do. Do the flip. Play dead.
I can stay. I can heal. Surprisingly little gets taught about sound technician though at dog training school.
Oh,
We
you
might
know
have to-
what?
we
That
have to go
makes
somewhere else. Yeah.
yeah. No, now that you say that, that does make sense.
I don't know if we have the budget for that though.
Well, no.
No. All right.
But so Mr. Redflushed, you said you're interested in like making music for anime and stuff. Did you see? Really quick side note.
Yeah.
Did you see Porter Robinson he like teamed up with
For the Shelter.
for the Shelter music
dude.
video.
I
Dude,
love I saw Porter Robinson live.
Really?
Yeah, at Anime Expo in California. It was just the best thing ever, dude. I saw them with I don't know if you know Anamanaguchi.
Okay.
They're like a chiptune band. They use like a hacked NES to make music.
That's
but,
so
really?
awesome.
Yeah, they're another like really big influence. But yeah, he had like the anime visuals and stuff, and it was amazing. It was
Dude,
very nice.
that was like the coolest. I don't know. It's just so good.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's like one of my biggest dreams as well, just like to have my music in it, but like hopefully like work on the animation too and like have like some, responsibility with it for sure.
So are you interested in like art? and stuff?
I I want to be, but it's just like I don't know. I can't draw too well. You know, I feel like I'm not good drawing just from like imagination. Like it has to be with like some reference. But yeah, I have like a Twitter for like, you know, personal art and like, you know, like original characters and stuff.
That's lit.
But yeah, I mean, like hopefully, like, you know, I hope to just like, you know, keep on improving and maybe at some point, you know, get to make a book or something of it eventually. Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
The Redflushed.
The Redflushed illustrations.
So you play a lot of video games too. What's like what's your favorite video game soundtrack?
That's kind of hard. I would say my favorite is probably this Japanese game called Katamari Damacy.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah.
That is a really good answer.
I love it. Yeah. Because it has like, you know, like cute J-pop, but it also has like you know, chiller tracks and it has like jazz and stuff, and it has like just like the weirdest Japanese type stuff. But also the game is just so addictive. Like I literally played it to the point like where like my eyes would like blur out because I was looking at the TV for so long. But it's a very like dangerously addictive game.
We've all been there.
Yeah. That video game life.
I played a lot of Beautiful Katamari. I played that in Demacia quite a bit.
For sure, yeah.
I would say mine's probably Undertale.
Oh, I love Undertale.
Undertale just did so much for me, you know, like that soundtrack. I listened to that so much.
Was it Falling Down? I think is just like my favorite track of 2015? I think the game came out 2015. Wow, it's been that long.
Yeah, I don't know, it still feels like so brand new though.
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
It's aged well for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. If you haven't played Undertale, like please go play that game. And it's so accessible. Like even if you're not like good at video games or something or whatever, and you just appreciate like really good story and like a nice experience, like just please go play Undertale, and it's cheap
for sure.
What about you, Coffee Guy? What's your favorite video game soundtrack?
I don't know that I pay attention too much to the soundtrack. What are some good video game soundtracks out there?
Hotline Miami.
Hotline Miami.
Never played it.
Dude, that's a really good answer.
Halo.
That's so hard.
Yeah, Halo's pretty good soundtrack.
Lord of the Rings movie adaptation game.
I don't know if that counts. Don't know if that counts.
Jet Set Radio.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This is kind of a weird answer. I love the music from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I think that game did such a good job
definitely do have
encapsulating that era.
For sure, yeah. No, and they like curate the radio stations so well.
They do.
I mean, it's crazy. Like they really know, like whoever's doing it knows how to capture the mood of the city so well. It's crazy.
So what are you listening to a lot? Oh wait, no, Pat, did you answer?
No, Lord of the Rings movie adaptation.
Oh, that was it.
I don't think that counts.
I'd probably go with Halo.
Thank you.
I like those. Yeah, I like the soundtrack a lot.
Which one?
It's tough.
I like Halo. I actually have them all on CD.
I'm gonna guess. Tell me if I'm right.
I like it though too.
Because there's a right answer probably.
I like Halo 2 a lot.
Yeah, no,
I really like
just
Halo
like the
2s.
chorals, like the choruses are just crazy. Like I would love to orchestrate for like
three.
They also released a lot. They released like I don't really know how to explain it, but like a lot of bands for Halo 2 like came in, like Incubus and Breaking Benjamin came in to do songs for that soundtrack that appeared on that soundtrack as well, like Blow Me Away.
Right, I remember that song, yeah.
Incubus, I think, did Follow Me, I think the song was called. So there was a lot of like interesting stuff going, and they had like jazz songs on there too. It was just a really diverse experience. I don't know, I listened to that a lot as a kid on my like huge CD player, like portable CD player that I carry around with me.
Or like the like tiny iPod shuffle, like you couldn't really pick the song, dude.
So what are you listening to like right now? Like what band are you just vibing to right now?
It's a good question. I've been listening a lot. There's this Japanese producer I like called it's like TOM and then 3 Gs, but he makes like really like really cute future bass, you know, kind of music. But I've also like been listening to a Porter Robinson side project, A Virtual Self.
Oh, yep.
A lot, yeah.
I think he just released an edit on SoundCloud that I was listening to last night.
It's so surprising too. Like at like the most like unexpected moment, he'll drop something.
Yeah.
Even like that whole EP, like it was so out of the blue. But I still love his like, classic, future bass stuff, but like that more like DDR, like older, kind of like drum and bass.
DDR. Yeah,
I love the music for DDR too.
There's a lot of gems from Dance Dance Revolution. I was always bad at the game, but bye Josh.
Bye,
Josh is
Josh.
departing
Thank you.
to go
my dude.
to go to his better job. better. Air quotes. So you watch a lot of anime. So you mentioned it at the beginning, but I mean, what's like your top few that you'd say
What did you do for
are
them on?
must
Top
haves?
3?
Top three.
Okay, top 3. Say my number 1 of all time for sure has to be this one called Ping Pong the Animation. I don't know if you ever watched it, but it's by one of my favorite directors called Masaki Yuasa. He made like a lot of other like
Oh yeah.
kind of like lesser known. Like he just made this one called Devilman Crybaby recently, and it's
Is that a reference to something?
Probably. It's very violent, but it was almost too much. But I would say my number 2 has to probably be FLCL, which is it was on Adult Swim or like Toonami, like in the maybe like mid 2000s or so. And then
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Cowboy Bebop probably is my third. Yeah, I love Cowboy Bebop.
Any Cowboy Bebop answer is like,
Yeah, no, and the music that alone,
oh yeah, dude.
is just like the composer Yoko Kanno. She just like motivated me so much because she composed everything, but she also got like like a whole choral group for that. Like she had like a live band to do the jazz stuff, and she also like did like synthesizer work and like with like drum machines and stuff. And it was
I have like half of that soundtrack embedded into my phone's
For
memory.
sure, yeah.
Like it's downloaded to always have on me, like no matter what, because I just love it so much. Like you turn that stuff on and you're just like going through your day normally, and it just turns anything into the most epic.
Right.
Like,
No, it's just like it reminds you of like Spike just like fighting and stuff.
like-
That's what I was associating with.
Yeah. Have you heard of? There's an artist that I listen to a lot on SoundCloud actually called Sabe. I don't remember.
I think he makes like lo-fi beat stuff.
Yeah,
Or
but
is it
he samples Cowboy Bebop all the time.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
it's like the centerpiece to like his stuff usually because he just
For
loves
sure.
the anime so much. But you should check him out though. He's really cool. Like
No,
this Brazilian dude,
Oh wait, I think I have heard of
and
him.
he's a guitarist.
He sample a lot of like bossa nova stuff too, like Brazilian songs?
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes.
I think I have heard of it.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Because I remember, BSD.U. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's like another like pretty big lo-fi producer, but like his main picture is like of Spike like in the car smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And like a lot of like I know like last year like when the lo-fi scene was starting, it was like Cowboy Bebop everywhere. So
It's hard
But
not to.
he's cool. He's cool.
I'm kind of like interested in what happened that lo-fi and anime are so
Yeah.
directly married.
No, I know
this
people
point.
that hate it. Like I have friends
Yeah.
that like producers. Like I produce boom bap and hip hop, not
Yeah.
lo-fi. It's like the classic '90s, like MF Doom. Like
I love them.
that's yeah. And I really like that stuff too. And I feel like I do so want to produce it, but I really don't know how anime and lo-fi came to be. Maybe it's just because the chill vibe, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just
know.
like-
I would just assume it's because of all the producers making that stuff are just
Right.
really into anime, and it
yeah, and like they didn't
fit.
want to show their face, so they would put like the Spike Spiegel.
But yeah, so like in terms of, I can't wait to get to this. I can't wait to get to this question. Before we get there, what kind of video games do you play in general? I mean, you said Katamari Damacy, which is a great pick.
I've been playing a lot of Overwatch lately.
Nice. Oh yeah, you were talking about that the other
Oh,
day.
that was on like super duper sale the other day, and I wanted to pick it up, and I don't know if it's still on sale. 'Cause
It
I
might
figured,
be,
okay,
yeah.
Now might be the time. It's like $19.99 or something.
Yeah.
It's the Lunar New Year event too right now.
Yeah.
I
it's
get
cool.
those skins.
Yeah, last year I got the Diva skin, but I haven't really been playing much.
I haven't either.
I started my competitive matches, but I have to finish them. So
Yeah.
I have to get to
Or
them.
don't. You
Or don't.
probably better life if you don't.
No, and like the people get like really mean. To be
Yeah.
honest, it's like, oh, don't use your ultimate now, or it's like they're like commanding you, and it's like I'm just trying to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of shot callers like in comp. I don't know. I kind of gave up. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've just been going into like quick matches, and I really like the 1v1 too, but it's so stressful,
yeah.
so I don't really play too often. But
I play like arcade all the time because I gotta get those
Yeah.
loot boxes because they have
Yeah.
that
Yeah, the loot
bonus
box.
for the loot.
for sure.
And
You're
now
losing money if you don't get the loot box.
and they have CTF out right now,
Oh, yeah.
like as its full on. And they actually have a separate competitive
Well, I'm placed for that. I don't know.
ranked for CTF
I
as
think
well.
I'm 7 out of 10 on that.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten into it yet. I was just playing the regular for a little bit. I got Winston's Wukong skin.
That was pretty cool.
I played a lot of Wukong in League of Legends, so I like Wukong. Not in Smite though. Smite Wukong makes me angry.
Angry.
Nerd.
Nerd.
Is it time?
Is it time? Is it time for the plants question? You mentioned that you're really into like, what's your herb lore level? No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
Oh, this is entirely my thing for some reason. I saw like he screenshotted the chat you had on Facebook, and I'm like, he likes plants. Let's ask him about plants. I want to know about plants.
No, yeah.
You went out of your way to mention that. I was like, that's interesting.
No, yeah. I have like an indoor garden.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I want to do that.
It's
for,
so
for real.
cool. You definitely should. And the cool thing is like you could buy like one plant, like foliage or something, and then you could like propagate it, like just cut off like a cutting, and then you could just put in soil, and then it grows and infinitely. But I've just been like growing like basil.
Yeah, I want to grow vegetables. I think it'd be so cool.
No, and it's
because I've never tried to grow a pepper, and then the pepper comes out, and then you get to eat a pepper.
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and then you can like survive.
I'm not a very
with food.
exciting person, but to me, that's like
No,
some cool stuff.
no, and like I come home and like I water my plants. Like, yo, that's crazy. I'm like providing them with life, and like it's
who needs
cool way to
kids?
think about.
needs
Exactly. No,
kids?
I feel like that's where it's like it's no longer the old cat lady. It's just like old plant.
Old plant dude.
Old plant dude.
My sister's
We
really
finally
into,
found the equivalent.
my sister's really into cacti, so she got my entire family succulents for Christmas,
Oh yeah.
which is really nice because they don't require much water at all.
Those are cool.
Yeah. It's like low maintenance.
So I can keep like every time I like remember after forgetting for a week, I'm like, oh wait, it's actually the appropriate amount of time. I'm not killing the plant.
No, yeah.
Cacti, just when you thought you've forgotten entirely, then you water it and you're fine. Cacti are definitely low maintenance. I mean, they survive in the harshest of conditions. So, I mean, I would say
they persevere.
Yeah, definitely.
They persevere. Yeah.
They're interesting plants too, the way they work. They're just like really alien. Like,
Right, and the way they look too, it's like
it's weird.
It's like they're not even trying to hurt anyone, but it's like, but they still look intimidating, you know. But
what's do you have like certain plants that you really enjoy like growing?
yeah, I bought an orchid like 3 months ago, and it's like everyone's always talks about like how hard they are to maintain and whatnot, but it's been pretty good. Like I still have the leaves on it, and a new stem is coming out, I guess. But it's probably gonna like wilt soon, and then it's gonna bloom again in the spring. But yeah,
Orchids are beautiful.
yeah, orchid. And I started with bonsais. That's what really started it all. Bonsai.
Yeah.
Like last year, I got one in Philly, and I was like, "This is crazy! Like, this is really, it's very fun, you know, like pruning it and maintaining it." So I was like, then I bought another one, and then you know,
It just spiraled out of
slippery
control.
Now there's 40 of them.
And now,
now there's
problem.
40.
now your house looks like
Now I'm a
the,
botanist.
jungle.
it looks
Now I'm
like
a
the
bot-
house from the second guy from Series of Unfortunate Events, where they go to the.
I know exactly. I love that too.
I love that book.
Yeah.
Dude.
No,
Those
I
books.
started watching the Netflix series like over the summer, and it's really
with Neil
really
Patrick
good.
Harris. As,
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh no.
Patrick Warburton?
The narrator?
No,
Or
the bad guy.
Oh,
Count Olaf?
Count Olaf.
Olaf.
How did I forget?
Yeah.
How did you? That's such a.
Do you prefer? Okay, so I watched the Jim Carrey.
Right,
one. I thought
right.
he did a great job
Yeah,
back
no,
then.
I loved it too.
So I've been apprehensive to go into it with Neil Patrick Harris doing Count Olaf and stuff and the new version. Do you think it holds up? Like, is
No,
it good?
for sure. I mean, the thing is, like, nothing really will replace Jim Carrey's like spontaneity and just his humor. But the actors are really good. They're younger though.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So that's the thing, but I mean, it's really good. Also gets more into depth in the book, like because I have all the books too and I've read them.
Yes.
So it's cool that they go beyond the marriage, because in the movie they only went to the marriage, but in the show they go to like the sawmill, and like it goes into like the backstory of the
Oh,
parents.
that's
and-
interesting.
Yeah, that's what I
So-
figured. That like I don't know, you can't really capture that series in a movie. Unless
For
it's
sure, yeah.
It's really hard. Yeah, there's a lot that.
Yeah, I mean, also I don't think I've ever seen the Jim Carrey movie, but from a person who's read the books, I think Patrick
good.
Harris does a good job.
Yeah. Oh, you watched it?
I watched a couple
A little
episodes.
bit of it, yeah. That's the thing. I was listening to some video essayist on YouTube because I'm boring and that's something I do in my free time. And They said that it's an interesting thing they said was that we live in the golden age of TV right now, because the way we're able to, like, a TV show is able to go on almost indefinitely, as long as it does well. I mean, it can go on indefinitely, which leads to as much character development, as much plot as you can possibly get. Like, and I think he cited a show called The Show as being as being a very good example of that. Of like, just because of how streaming has gone, Netflix and these types of things, it's better than ever before to have these amazingly deep and involved in experiences that you could not have had. You can't get through a movie in 2 hours, and you can't get through what we had before running on like normal television, as much. And I just thought that was like a really interesting sentiment, like the idea that you can just kind of, you can spend seasons and seasons and seasons just developing these characters, as much as you possibly, and for hours and hours.
It's not unlike certain video games that get like that. Like if you have a series you really like Mass Effect. I know you really
I love Mass
I think
Effect.
one of the things that original trilogy did so well is it actually made you really care about the people that you met.
Yeah.
Because you've known some of them for so long.
I would get very upset, like when things would happen to some of those characters that I couldn't prevent, and like they did such a great job. Andromeda, not so much, but I think that's another series I'd highly recommend to anyone who's like, it really enjoys like story-driven games and stuff. Mass Effect is amazing. The first one's a little hard to get through.
It's hit or miss depending on who you are as a gamer, I guess.
Right, yeah. But the second and third are just out of the park.
I'm going to have to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Thanks so much, Matt. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
Okay.
Is that good?
That was better.
All right.
It was all right, I guess. It's fine.
What would you rate that, Redflushed?
Out of 5.
Like a mild 7. Or out of 5?
I don't care. I don't actually
I'll take
care.
a 7.
Like a mild 7. Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice.
I'll
of
take
you.
a 7 out of 5. It's pretty good.
7 out of 5.
Pretty good.
Amazing.
It's a pretty good score.
It's pretty good.
Would you sample that? And we're back.
I could flip it probably. Like, make the hardest beat of 2018. Yeah.
Contact me. I'll do it for you.
You heard it here first.
On
All right.
The collab.
It's coming, guys.
we got some.
Expect it.
Before
Don't sleep
trivia.
on it.
On the note of farming and gardening, I got some special trivia.
All right.
I'm
So
excited.
I got a bunch of people who happen to be gardeners, and you said
Are they botanists? Is that what
are they?
no, they just happen to garden.
Oh.
They're not,
Wait
like,
till you
in
hear
depth.
this idea. I don't know how Pat thought any of us would get any of these
Oh, no,
right.
don't worry, you'll get it. All right.
He probably will,
Here's
but
a good
try.
one.
I'll
All right,
try.
who wants to go first?
no. It's,
I'll
All right,
go,
you can
I'll
go first.
All
You got
right.
an easy one.
Full confidence.
All right. This famous person discovered the science of genetics while gardening?
Science of genetics. I'm not too sure.
Really? All right. Anyone want to steal?
Chandler just face palmed like
because I know who that is.
How do you not know who this is?
And I can't remember
thought
his
this one
name.
was
I feel like I know who it is, but just
You
like,
probably do, yeah.
like just not based off of that part.
Yeah.
I'm very mad. Because as soon as you say it, I'm gonna get very
It's,
upset.
all right, let me write down. Any guesses at all? No, all right.
Eugene,
Yeah,
eugenic.
Eugene. No, it's Gregor Mendel.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right,
All
Sean, you
right.
should get this one.
Okay.
All right, ready? What famous gardener who starred in movies such as Prince of Persia and Nightcrawler is also an organic vegan?
Oh,
Jake
it's
Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Jake
Yeah, he's my
Gyllenhaal.
favorite dude.
I don't know why you cited Prince of Persia as
like
do
Donnie
not-
Darko or like
Yeah, like,
No,
what?
it's 'cause I
No, but
googled,
Jarhead.
Yeah.
I googled
That's what it said.
famous people who garden. No, and every picture that had it was like Jake Gyllenhaal in a picture, and it was all him shirtless in Prince of Persia.
I
All
forgot
these
that movie was a thing.
I guess
So,
it's
yeah,
the
Prince of
most
Persia.
earthly. One of the most. I don't even know.
All
No, but
coffee-
Nightcrawler
Sands
was
of
a good
Time.
example.
It was-
Nightcrawler was a great
It was a
example.
great
All right, coffee guy. What Beatles member was also an avid gardener?
John, was it John?
It's for me.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh,
you got
all
first
right.
dibs.
sorry.
He's wrong though. It's not John. There you go. I narrowed it down a little bit.
Is it Paul McCartney?
No.
Wow, you had.
Anyone want to steal?
Is it Ringo?
Ringo?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Ringo?
I was gonna
expecting
say
it,
that, but I'm like, nah, of
because he
course it's
seems
not.
like a dude that just beats the drums. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
really
like, yeah.
guard and then what.
Who's the weirdest Beatles
But,
member?
Right,
Like,
right. I wouldn't expect to be Ringo, but it
All
won't.
right, back to you.
All
What
right.
famous actress whose head was in the box in Seven also likes the garden?
Wow.
Box
Oh
is
my god.
seven, right?
Now, looking back,
What's
this
in
is
the
ki-
box?
This is a harsh question.
Yeah, I
You
don't-
have talked about Seven
So many.
many
Seven's
times.
a movie, or
Yeah,
I haven't
uh-oh.
watched it. No,
It's good.
It's with
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt and
Okay.
oh wow, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, there it is.
More-
All right, so anybody want to steal then?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh.
What?
Uh,
It's the climax of the movie.
is it Kevin Spacey?
No.
No, he's the.
Whose head is in the box?
I don't remember.
Okay. It's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Ah,
It's Brad Pitt's
for an-
girlfriend.
for anyone who hasn't seen the movie and now shouldn't.
I have
also
to watch it
spoil-
now. I have to.
It's all-
Let's know.
Well, no one got man,
Spoiler
this is-
trivia.
you guys
This
are
is
really-
going.
you guys
I
are
told
really
you
letting me
before
down.
we started this that it was not good. Like before we aired that it was not going to go well
What do you mean?
because I don't know anything about plants.
this has nothing to do with plants.
It has to do with people who
This is
do know
political.
about
People-
plants.
All right. Coffee guy. What former Tonight Show host now owns a 12-acre farm that is a haven for abused animals? That's right. All right. Anybody?
Is it Jimmy Kimmel?
No.
No.
Wait, oh wait, no, I totally said the wrong
when
one.
did they?
No, Daily
messed
Show.
up.
That's what I meant
Oh.
to say, not Tonight Show.
Oh.
On Comedy Central, The Daily Show.
Wait, like how long ago did they stop?
The show is
The one
on
before
daily.
this one.
Yeah,
The host before
Jon
this host.
Stewart.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that, that was really
Well, that was
how did
bad,
you
my bad.
like?
I messed that up. We got there though.
3 point.
All right. That's for
Continue.
you. Did I miss whatever? This famous talk show host.
Pat can't read.
No, I
actually.
can't write.
Oh
Actually,
my
I
God,
can read
Storm rubbed
fine.
off on you.
No, I wrote this famous talk show. How is famous for giving out cars? Also has a knack for gardening.
Talk show host.
I know who you're talking
Who
about.
gives out cars?
Gives out
Gives out
cars.
You get a
cars.
car.
And you
I'm
get a
not
car.
thinking of a talk
And
show.
you
so I'll
get
be
a
the type
car.
of person to do that. I don't.
And you get a car.
I don't know. I'm just
Everyone
gonna-
gets a car.
I'm just
Can
gonna
I
say
steal?
Jimmy Fallon.
No.
Can I steal?
Steal.
Jay Leno?
Nope.
No,
Really? It's not Jay Leno?
Is it Oprah?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oprah. She gives away cars.
She used to.
She did
Wow,
once,
okay.
and then you had to pay tax in the car, so most of the people couldn't take the car home.
Dang.
That's hilarious.
All right, this
That's
is
a
my favorite
gift.
question. So we already Chandler.
I'm not.
This Avengers actor has a green thumb on and off screen.
You know, Chandler, your guess wasn't actually that bad for the last one.
It
Thank
wasn't.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Jay
much.
Leno's really into cars.
Yes, that's where I was going with that. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for glazing
I
over the
appreciate that.
greatest question I've ever heard.
well.
Is this a current Avenger? Now let me try to remember. Yeah, I was gonna say Lou Ferrigno. No.
You're right.
Why can't I remember? No, Mark Ruffalo.
There it is.
Yeah,
Isn't that clever?
that was a
That's
good
not a
one.
good question.
That was a
Yeah.
good one. I didn't know he was into that
I didn't either.
until you Google it
Until I
today.
googled. All right, coffee guy. What member of the British royal family is a huge advocate of farming? It's a big one. It's not like obscure.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
No,
Take a guess.
no.
All right. Anyone to steal?
The Queen.
No, not the Queen.
Prince
You're
Harry?
Close. Crap, no. You're close.
Is it the baby?
Um,
It's the baby. right?
It's the other prince. I don't know if any of you know his name.
Prince Edward,
Nope. All right. It's
I don't
Prince
know.
Charles.
Oh,
Prince Charming. Oh,
I feel like I misnumbered these, or I skipped one of you, but I'm just gonna give this one to the group. Which guitarist from the Police is a huge fan of farming?
Ooh, I forgot their names.
I don't know.
All right.
Pat has to work in a dad band into every segment.
It's really a dad band. The Police.
The Police is a dad band.
Border.
It's-
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
almost
yeah.
there. Cause like what? It was the 80s. What? When were they? When did they hit peak popularity?
I don't know.
Pat's like, they're popular right now, dude. I'm jamming
Yeah, I was
out.
jamming. It's Sting.
Oh,
I
no. That was easy.
That was easy.
Are you gonna ring
The
it?
bell.
No, I was just playing with it.
Oh,
The bell. The bell
You guys-
is.
the bells.
I'm sorry to let everyone down for that segment.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just something that you've been doing lately.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to
Listen,
take
I
you
have
to
great ideas, and I'm like, this is awesome.
trivia
and then I get on,
training.
and no one knows it.
Well,
Which is
you
really
should have
hacking
known
everything.
better.
I should have. You're right.
Yeah.
You're going back to doggy camp.
Have better judgment.
I'll get to know the gardeners next time. I'll go to Hollywood.
We actually do this every week about gardeners.
Yeah, we have not improved.
No.
It has been a long process.
It's the same question.
All right. Now it's
So,
time.
yeah,
Where,
now
where
it's-
can we find everyone
Yeah. What's
off the podcast?
Well, where can we find you, Pat? How about you go
Nowhere.
first?
My house.
All right.
My Steam profile.
Coffee guy?
Don't. Just don't.
Do you have
Don't-
somewhere you'd like to refer them otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, if you are looking for a photographer or maybe a videographer, you can check out Josh Brennan, the wonderful Tired Pants production. If you go to tiredpantsfilms.com, you can check out what he has to offer.
Josh Brennan will make all your dreams come true and make you look like a superstar like he does for us every week.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, we definitely recommend.
I can honestly say he'll work as hard as he can to make sure you are as satisfied as possible.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and all joking aside, he like that dude goes so hard. Like he does not stop for anything, and he just no obstacle can get in his way. I don't know. He's just he's a monster for film.
Where can we find you, Chandler?
YouTube Sly Elliott. I'm Sly Elliott on everything, pretty much that you can think of. So yeah, I've been posting a lot of pictures on the gram, on the
Mhm.
Sly Elliott gram, and coming out. Well, I actually have a second YouTube channel now, so Sly Elliott 2, which is where I'm putting all the weird videos that have nothing to do with anything on there as well. So check that out, I guess, or don't, whatever. That's where the Filthy Frank video went up. But
Sweet.
All right, where can we find you?
You can find me on SoundCloud at Redflushed. I'm also on Twitter a lot. My actually is in Redflushed because there's like this K-pop dude that is also Redflushed. So
nice.
that might be trouble.
Oh, do you have
further.
beef with him?
Nah. But
Do you want to start one? This is a platform.
I want to get the at eventually, but no, my at right now is Flushed with Red on Twitter.
Okay.
So-
That's not bad
That's a nice
either.
yeah,
rearrangement.
I was just
You
like,
made it work.
yeah, like
Made
a
it
spin on it. But yeah, also Bandcamp,
Bandcamp.
redflush.bandcamp. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I highly
I'm
recommend.
on Spotify too, so
Oh, you are?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
was really cool. I was on your Spotify as well.
yeah.
Any
Good
closing
stuff.
words?
Go listen to Redflushed. Go get Josh Brennan and take pictures of you for
Get
your
Josh
prom.
Brennan. Get Josh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get Josh.
just get him.
Just get him.
get
Just get him.
All right.
Kidnap
And,
him.
all right.
We'll see you guys. Thanks so much for listening and watching and not making fun of us too much to our faces when you see
Yeah, to our
us.
faces at least.
So yeah, well, or don't. But yeah,
What?
this is more Red Flush that you'll hear.
Yep.
So yeah, catch you guys later. Thanks so much. See you
Good
next
night.
week.